Everything I spit rare, we sounding that great. Area podcast, they talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch it once again. Every time I'm spitting, I be making people don't.
But before we start ranking the 10, we should probably go through how we got to the 10. So for all the listeners out there, big up India. All the listeners out there.
Shout out you, man.
Shout out.
Prayers to that country as well right now.
Yeah, that place is so fucked right now.
It's a fucked up situation. So we did a draft. We did a little draft in the WhatsApp group. We took it in turns to pick an album each, which left us with 12. And then we cut 2 because we're doing a top 10. Shall we say what the first ones to be cut was, Sam?
I don't remember, man. You man always fucking slight me every fucking time. Like. Man comes in with the proper list, yeah, the real list that you know that people will love and cherish, and you man come in, yeah, with the terrible list. But hold on, let me look in the doc.
It was Doris. You already know that.
Yeah,
you man are chatting so much trash though. Doris is a good album, yeah.
But respect Doris, yeah, respect Doris.
Doris is good, and something People's Instincts Travels and Paths of Rhythm. I don't even know who made that album.
Tribe.
It's not a top 10 album out from Tribe, though, is it?
I thought it was a solid debut.
This is.
Well, let's just clear it up. So Theo picked Tribe's debut, Sam picked Doris, and we decided to cut those 2. I feel like we kind of all agreed that Doris is
amazing.
Is one of the best debuts of that decade, but top 10, maybe not. Yeah, and then with Tribe's one, I mean, I personally felt that the De La debut was a better, more influential record personally. And again, it's a great album, but it just doesn't quite make the cut, I think, compared to the rest of the 10 that we've got.
Doris should have stayed. I don't care what the fuck you meant to say. We also have honourable mentions. Obviously, email Sean at theguardian.com, but he put Boy in the Corner on there, and I'm really feeling that.
That would be bottom of the list.
That would even be on the list. They'd be on the floor, man.
The slander.
And then 3 Feet High and Rising, and Only Built for Cuban Links.
Yeah, great albums.
So those are your honourable mentions. But all right, we got to start where we start and end where we end. Yeah. Arula is number 10, okay? Let's just be
agreed.
honest.
Yeah, 100%. Agreed. 100%. Arula's number 10.
I got a point to make, though. Like, I don't think Straight Outta Compton deserves to be on this list.
Nah, sure. Do that thing where you kick someone out of the Zoom, please. What's I'm talking about?
That album is max 8.5. I was struggling to push it higher than that.
Okay. But why is it not... What? You're saying Arula goes above that?
No, I'm not having any of that. No, that's just a load of rubbish.
That is a conspiracy theory if I ever heard one. Nah, go on, tell us more, please, because what the hell?
Okay, well, I feel like actually the first 4 songs on this album might be like the strongest start out of any album on this list. That's arguable.
Arula?
So, no, Straight Outta Compton. So props to that album. But I feel like probably the second 2/3 are... They're like here and there. It's not perfect. There's not great music going on. There's a lot of like fillers and just stuff that would be on like a B-side of an EP or something. They're not worth listening to. They're skippable. There's lyrics on like Just Don't Bite It. There's a slight chance if I fuck she might burn me.
This came out 23 years ago.
I'm just saying,
man.
That's not listenable music though.
Longer than 23 years ago.
1988.
Yeah, before we were born.
1988.
I was not feeling the misogyny on this album when I listened to it.
Oh wait, shit. It's like 30 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fuck
it is.
Nah, sorry, man. I feel like for cultural impact, it can't be number 10.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, it can't be number 10. There's no way.
For me, it's influence. It's the influence of that album.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's on the top 10, because it's so influential. But I don't think it deserves to be above any other album.
So for you, this was number 10?
Definitely.
And not Arula?
Nope.
Where did Arula come then?
Arula was just above it.
There you go. Because about to say, Arula's at number 10, yeah? And this is no slight to MIA or anything like that. It's just... It's in the top 10 for whatever reason. It's in the top 10, yeah? Because we're talking about debut albums. But versus what else is on the list, it just has to fall to the bottom, doesn't it?
Well, of course it does. You when you match this up against all the other albums in this list, it's not that there's a slight to Arula. It's a great album, and I think it's a solid debut. It's fantastic, actually. But the influence and just how amazing these other albums are, it just has to fall at number 10, especially for me. It has to. Like, I hear what Kieran's saying about Straight Outta Compton. I really hear that, but the influence and still some of the songs and that, and how the album ends as well, I think it's fantastic, and it made such a impact on culture. That's the big thing about this album.
And sound.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to shout out. We're talking about gangster rap. You've got to talk about Ice-T. You've got to talk about Schoolie D. You've got to talk about Ghetto Boys. But if you think about the kind of explosion that happened when that album came out, and then what it did for just street rap and gangster rap that followed. Do you know what I mean? It kind of like, whilst it wasn't the first, it really sort of pushed it into the mainstream. I mean, they had the flipping FBI after him. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Not after him, but you know what I mean? They were like investigating them for their based on their lyrics.
As far as eternal bangers go, Fuck the Police is gonna. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm an American person. Fuck the Police. Fuck the police. That's gonna play forever. That's eternal, people are always gonna want to play that song when it's time to start. You know what I mean? Fucking shit up.
But I would say as well that Arula is influential in a different way, but not. And for me, it was the difference here was because we're talking about rap and hip hop. Like I said, NWA is undeniably influential on gangster rap and just hip hop in general. But Arula to me is more like I hear more influence in like electro pop and things like that. I don't really see how it impacted rap music that followed. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was different. That's one thing. This is
very different, and it's timeless. It still sounds really good today.
Yeah, most of MIA's albums are like that. And considering I would say she identifies as a rapper, or she's rapping at least, shall we say? Yeah, this is a good debut, and it's the only UK album on the list. Right. So what does that say? Do you know what I mean? She's the most unique and the most diverse person on the list. She's a woman. She's Sri Lankan, and she's from the UK. But she just falls to number 10, unfortunately.
Some points I just wanted to make, but I agree because the majority say it's above. But Straight Outta Compton had contemporaries that were similar to it, like Ghetto Boys. Whereas MIA, in the scene she was in, all the other British Asians were making drum and bass style music. And nobody was making this sound at all. And nobody's made it since as well. Or sounded like she sounds as well. Like I think in one of our previous conversations, we said she's got one of the most unique rap voices and deliveries. And I also find that the whole album, from top to bottom, is like bangers non-stop. Where Straight Outta Compton's definitely, it's the start that's bangers and like the end as well. But
yeah,
I feel you on that. I do agree to an extent. But then if we just get down to the sort of the basics, if we start talking about the rapping. You've got MIA and you've got Ice Cube.
I know. Ice Cube is just...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the rappers on Straight Outta Compton are incredible. When it comes to the political stuff, though, like Straight Outta Compton, they were talking about the police and standing up against that. MIA's standing up for refugees and their rights. But there was one thing. Straight Outta Compton is really influential, but I read something earlier today that made me question like whether we should celebrate this album, which is like this album made misogyny okay in hip hop. Like it solidified that this was a thing that's fine to do now. Like talk really.
Let's be honest, man. Their name is terrible too. Their name is Niggas with Attitude. We're forgetting that. So
yeah, that's true.
Let's put all the wokeness. Sorry to be that guy, but let's put the wokeness to the side for a second. Let's accept this is hip hop. It is what it is. It's coming to a better place now, obviously, but it's not number 10. We can't put it at number 10 just because we want to cancel them now. We already cancelled.
It's cancelable. I was listening to it this morning thinking like these guys could get cancelled if this came out today.
Everybody would get cancelled.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everybody in this list will get cancelled. Then we just.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just have
this is extreme. Like I'm not saying like
on the list that will get cancelled. And definitely, some of the lyrics I heard earlier. Jesus.
yeah. No doubt. But I feel like this is probably the worst of the worst kind of thing. But
you think it's the worst of the worst?
It's in the title. Yeah, like lyrically, they're just disgusting.
I think there's worse out there, but anyway, that's besides the point. It unfortunately, I'm slightly in agreement, with what Kieran said, right? And for me, I don't know because we've already established Arula's at number 10. Straight Outta Compton was number 9 for me.
Me too.
Yep, same.
Swear.
Me too.
So
Yeah,
Rizzy,
it was number 9.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was number 9. Yeah,
the only deviation is that Kieran's put his the other way around. So we can agree the bottom
Yeah.
two is like it's a battle to
yeah.
your own personal
Definitely.
preference.
And the reason why it was number 9 for me is, and it does relate to what Kieran's saying about the lyrics and even the sound to some extent, is it's just not aged as well as the others that come after it.
Oh yeah,
in
definitely.
my opinion, it's just
That
not.
and I think the other 8 albums are better than this. I'm not gonna lie.
And
to
it
you.
is jarring
Kieran
listening
said,
to-
no, Kieran's right. The middle, there is a dip in the middle. There's no denying that. Like, and the other albums, for me personally, don't have that. So it comes at number 9.
But for an album this old,
Yeah.
the mix is so good.
I was about to say
Like,
Great,
Yes.
Dr. Dre.
but it's
Dr.
Dre.
Dre's
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah,
For me though, I was just always like, I feel like I had to listen to this album because it was like a rites of passage. But growing up, I didn't listen to NWA because I like obviously my mum was like, you can't listen to this. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking violent music, bad. Like, she'd let me listen to Jay-Z and Biggie, but she's like, niggas with attitude, no way. Like, don't listen to that, right? And then when I listened to it when I was like 14 or 15, I think Kieran told me to listen to it once on MSN. I listened to it and I was like, this ain't bad. I already know one of these songs. And then I was just kind of like, after like the next half an hour, because like, you know, you flick something on and do whatever you're doing, I was like, where's this? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's this going? And not to say that like, oh, the album's trash, like, you know, throw it in the bin. It just never, the album never gripped me. There was never any kind of like massive replay value to it, to the whole thing. I just used to listen to 2-3 songs on it.
Yeah, if you don't live through something, it's hard to really, get it. Do you know, and then you don't have the nostalgia that comes with it as well. You know, there's no denying that better music in that lane has come out since then. There's no disrespect to that album, but we've just had better music that we've lived through even.
That film, though, definitely helped us contextualize it more.
Yeah, that film was good.
It's a pretty good film.
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I don't know if I fell asleep when we went to see that, Sean, but that film was long, boy. That film was long as fuck. I was feeling drowsy. I'm just putting this out there now. You guys ain't gonna like my number 7. My number 7.
Is this argument starting this early in the call?
No. Because you're gonna see what's happened with number 8, and you guys gonna be oh shit. You guys tell me what's number, because we all agree on what happened at 9 and 10. Cool.
Oh, well, I can go first. I know what mine is. 100%. Lauryn Hill is number 8 for me.
Same.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. No cap. Lauryn Hill's. Yeah.
Same.
Okay. See, the lists are all lining up, kind of, yeah. But let's see what Sean's saying.
I'm not saying where, but Lauryn Hill goes a lot higher for me. A lot higher.
So she came from your selection of
she
stuff.
doesn't.
She
No.
came from your selection of stuff.
way.
Definitely. No.
If you're saying a lot higher, that this is going to be some interesting podcast.
All right.
Because I'm telling you right now, I am going to be like blazing.
Well, you man are
if
about to
she's-
get vexed, yeah. But go on, what's number 8 then, Sean? Tell us what's number 8.
College Dropout.
No.
Nah, he's
Wait.
chatting shit.
Get out
He's
here.
chatting shit.
Someone kick him.
Yeah, he's chatting shit. He's chatting shit.
He's
Someone
got
kick him.
he's got to be taking the
He's
mic.
chatting shit.
He didn't.
He's gotta
Kieran
be
didn't even say
taking
someone
the
kick him out. He said someone kick him.
Someone get in the car, go drive to him and kick it. Nah, he's chatting shit. He's chatting shit. He has to be chatting shit.
No, I'm not.
Are you being serious?
Yo.
Nah.
What?
He's chatting shit.
Really?
He's gotta be chatting shit.
No, you just.
Number
no.
8.
I need to hear some reasoning right now.
So for me, with College Dropout,
8?
yeah,
Come on, man.
and it was difficult. It could have went 1 or 2 places higher, but this is hard, man. Because I love Ye.
You clearly don't, because you put him at number 8.
No, I do. It's just. Do you know what it was for me? Re-listening to all these. This one, it starts really strong. It ends really strong. But it loses its way in the middle a little bit for me.
No, it doesn't at all.
It gets better
That's
and
a little
better.
bit for me.
It gets better and better towards the end. It's a journey.
Like-
It's literally a journey, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
What?
What's the middle tracks? What's this?
What? So you don't like School Spirit then? It's
You don't like
You don't
slow
breathe
jams.
in, breathe out.
Yeah.
No,
breathe
I
in,
like- I
breathe
like
out.
You don't
man.
like 2 words. You don't like through the
fire.
wire. Last
The
call.
ending of New Workout Plan, the ending of that is mad.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Well, it's amazing. I like it all. I like the whole album.
I forgot how long this album was when I was listening to it, yeah. But it's just
very
because
long.
there's
That's
so
what I
many
mean.
different tracks.
It is.
That's what I mean. It just
It's not boring though.
No,
No, it's not. The thing is, we're talking about the top 10, so none of this is bad. None of it's boring. It's
Track
just,
for track, this album had the
when
most
you
hits
see-
on it, though.
when you see how stellar, hits, loads of hits, and we can talk about the influence of it and all sorts, but when you see how strong it starts at the beginning and how strong it finishes, there's just a few tracks in the middle of a long track list.
What
that
are you
kind of-
classing as the middle, Sean? This is what we're trying to ascertain right now.
I'm thinking,
Yeah,
so
what
like,
songs?
so sort of between, and this is not disliking any of them. It's just like between sort of workout plan and then up to 2 words, because 2 words is flawless. But
So what? Slow jams goes out the window. Breathe in,
Slow
breathe out
Jams
goes out
has
the
some
window.
of the best
Breathe in, breathe out.
The rest
No,
of
I
it
love
skips.
hip
Like,
hop track.
no,
What's
I
that?
love slow jams. I love slow jams.
You're
I
not
love
feeling
School
breathe in,
Spirit.
breathe out.
Breathe in,
Dun,
breathe in, breathe
dun,
out. I
dun.
like, but it's
Breathe
not-
in, breathe
it doesn't
out.
hold up with Kanye's best songs to
I
me.
love it.
It doesn't hold up with Kanye's best songs to me.
I would
enough.
say that
I
those
always had
middle
a
songs
PhD,
are,
a pretty huge dick.
they're
Come
off
on,
the
man.
era. They're off the era.
That's
That's
you,
true,
mate.
but they're not like
I mean,
it's not dated music.
No, none of it's not dated at all. Listen, this is a tough list to make, but that's my reason for it. It's just that middle compared to the beginning and the end is just not on the same level, and it's quite a long album. That's what it was.
okay, so hear me out on this.
Shots,
No.
man.
You already know what's coming at number 8 for me. Yeah, it's Illmatic, right? For the,
Okay.
for the
is
same,
this?
for the same, no, for the same reasons, for the exact same reasons that Sean's put Kanye at
No,
number
I
8,
can't
I
go-
put Illmatic at number
Speak
8.
your piece. Wait, let him speak his piece because it's a democracy.
It
Let's see what he
starts
says.
so strong, yeah. And this is as someone who doesn't really fuck with Nas like that. It starts so strong, but the track 5 to the end is trash.
This is
And
a
that's over
perfect
half the album.
This is
Half the album, half the album is trash. Complete
No, it's
garbage.
not. No, I'm
Doo-doo.
From what
There's
song?
two-
having that.
there's
And
two-
you-
From what
the
song
world is
onwards?
yours down is terrible. So halftime, memory lane, one love, one time
You're,
for your
you're
mind.
telling
Nah,
me
Sam,
half time
Sam,
is
Sam.
rubbish. Nah, Sam's trolling.
I'm telling you the truth.
Sam
I'm
is
telling you the
trolling.
truth. I swear to God, I'm telling you the truth.
No, Sam is trolling.
There's only
You cannot
two-
tell me half. You cannot tell me half time is trash.
There's
That is
only- there's only
ridiculous.
two-
No, do you know
good
what?
song
Do you
for
know
this
what?
album.
Yeah.
Halftime, I love halftime. But that is, if I was to say any song on there, and I'm trying not to use the word dated because it's a negative word, but that's the song that is very much of that time.
it's
And
the
to me,
worst
it
song on the
doesn't hold
album.
There you go then.
You said it.
But what I'm
You didn't
saying
do
is
that.
there's two songs on here
One
which
Love?
are endless.
No, One Love is amazing,
One
but
Love?
even
Memory
Memory
Lane,
Lane,
amazing.
yes,
You
thanks,
might not
Kieran,
say
yeah,
that.
Memory Lane
Right,
is
right,
just
shit.
amazing.
The final song, it ain't hard
Yeah,
to
It Ain't
tell.
Hard to Tell
So
is just
I think that's
iconic.
top 2.
New York State of Mind, The World Is Yours. Two
Represent.
massive, impactful tracks that, you know what I mean? If we were going to do a top 10 of best songs of all time from hip hop, one of those two has to make it in there. And I'm talking about me personally, someone that don't like Nas. But this album has to go at number 8, personally.
No, man, this is going to be something else, man. I'm
I
not
don't-
feeling this.
I know
I
you
don't
guys
even
have
know
got
how
it
to
somewhere in the
approach
top
this.
5, but
What?
that's
I'm
not
not
how it's
feeling
going
this
for me, man.
Illmatic slander. I mean, it's not real slander for College Dropout. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just but
My
Illmatic,
points are not
I'm having
substantiated.
that.
My points are personal. And obviously, I know Illmatic was never going at number 8, but I'm fighting
We're
to
the
drag
opposite.
it down out of the
I
top
said
5.
this already. We're
We're
not
the
discussing Illmatic unless we're in the top 5.
Nah, you see, you man are
Oi.
moving crazy. You man are moving. When we get to the top 5,
Said it's so serious.
we're gonna have to do rejigs and stuff because when we make the top 5, it's not gonna feel right for Illmatic to be in there. And I'm saying this as a rational human. Like I'm not talking as someone who loves Nas or anything like that. I'm talking as a rational person. Illmatic. The highest Illmatic can go is number 6. The highest it can go is number 6. And if it goes anywhere higher than that, you man are just gassing
Wait,
up Nas.
can we?
No, we
can
are
get-
not gassing
wait,
up,
wait.
man.
Let's
Illmatic
come
is-
back because we're gonna have some trouble with. But let's go to Lauryn Hill because 2 of you said that you think Lauryn Hill is next.
Hear
so-
this
Yeah,
now.
she's 8.
I'm willing to bump up Nas
But-
because Lauryn Hill's at number 7. So I'm willing to put Lauryn Hill down one. But that's just
Okay.
to please you guys because personally for me, Lauryn Hill's album is better than Nas's album.
I'm sorry, I'm not having that. Lauren.
Oh, wait, Theo, time to give reasons. Why
Articulate.
is Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill number 8 for you?
I mean, it's a fantastic album and it's brilliant and it shows her versatility. But if I'm just going to be real, I just think there's better rap albums on there. There's better flows, better structures of the album. And don't get me wrong, the structure of The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is fantastic. The way she's organised that album from top to bottom is brilliant. But for me, there's better albums there. It's no slight on Lauryn Hill. I just think there's better rabbits, better lyrics, and yeah.
for the 90s, this album had mass appeal. Like, this album went through to the mainstream. And so, considering what we're ranking is to get to the top, that's why I put it at number 7 above Nas. Because Nas' album didn't go anywhere near the mainstream. It was just respected in the hip hop community. And that's why it's gone one down.
Well, I just want to, before, because Kieran, I know you've got it there as well, but I just want to respond to something that Theo said. So I knew this would come up, that the reason why Lauryn Hill might fall down is because it's not a purely rap album, or there is a lot of singing on it, right?
But I like the singing though, Sean. Trust me.
No. No, I knew you would. You can't. Yeah. No one can deny this is.
No, it's beautiful.
I mean, this is a near perfect album in my opinion. But I knew that I'm not going to call it lack of raps, because I don't think there is a lack of raps. No, and we spoke about something when we did our. Whether it comes out before this or not, when we spoke about what makes a great rapper, Kieran made a great point about melody and how important it is to hip hop now. And if you listen to the way that she seamlessly was able to put singing and rapping together in an album, I don't think anyone did it this well before it, and I'm not sure anyone has done it as well since.
Nope. That's why the album's in the top 10. 100%.
And if you think about,
we can't keep using this argument of that's why it's in the top 10. Now we need to justify why it falls where it falls. Do you see what I'm saying?
I know. For me though, if you look at the artistic range of it, again going back to just being able to immaculately blend singing and rapping, to me it paves the way for someone like a Kanye West and what he did and what he's done throughout his whole career. It's paved the way for a Childish Gambino.
Yeah, 100%.
It paved the way for Drake, Kid Cudi, Future, anyone right now who's rapping with melody, which is most. No one did it, like I said, that well before it, and I'm not sure has ever done it that well since. And then if we talk about the mass appeal, the amount of records it sold, the amount of awards it won, the lists it tops, it's just across the board, all the categories, it knocks them out of the park. And we've not even spoke about the raps yet either.
No, the raps are phenomenal.
Because if you talk about Lost Ones, if you talk about, what's it called? What's the flipping in the middle? I always forget what it's called. Final Hour. The way she's rapping on those 2 tracks are better than some rappers' whole albums. Just in those 2 tracks. She's incredible. But that's what I wanted to say to that. That's what, yeah.
I don't know, but she's probably 8 because of, I don't know, it's impact of what I'm listening to. I'm not slighting the album. I think the album is near perfection. Like, there is not, for me, it's so well done. And the message throughout the whole album is absolutely fantastic. And I don't even care that it's Lauryn Hill's only album. The album is near flawless. It's absolutely phenomenal. There's no way you're never going to tell me how amazing that album is. She's at number 8 probably because it's a feel for me how that album impacted me in comparison to the rest. I mean, to be honest with you, actually, Lauryn Hill for me could potentially go up to 7. Actually, now thinking about it, compared because
who'd you put at 8?
No, I put Lauryn Hill at 8. I can say who I put at 7. I put the Chronic at 7. So.
Oh
wait, Kieran, what have you got to say?
This is how we decide what goes where. Because for me, 7 and 8 is Lauryn Hill and Nas. So me and nobody else is in the same category, but everybody agrees that Lauryn Hill is falling in this area apart from you, Sean, innit? So you've put Kanye down there. We're just going to disregard what you said because it's fucking dumb.
Sean, where did you put Lauryn Hill? Like what?
Let's get to that later on.
What place did you put Lauryn Hill?
We'll get to that later on.
Man,
is it top 5? Is Lauryn Hill in the top 5 or is she in the bottom 5?
Definitely top 5.
Okay, so we have to wait. We have to wait for that then.
Jeez,
we have to wait for that.
But just quickly, I had the Chronic at 7 as well. But I want to hear.
Because that's why I don't know why that's. That's such a surprise. Because the Chronic for me is not going top 5. It's not top 5.
So hang on. So are we parking?
Are we parking on this one?
Hang on.
Yo,
this is ridiculous.
Wait.
What? You man are
before we get to the Chronic.
No, man. You man are smoking too.
Hold up.
Bro.
So are we parking? Are we parking all those that we just mentioned for now?
We're not. Well, first of all, we're not listening to what you said about Kanye West, Sean. We're just
listen.
You man are not listening to what I said about Nas. Yeah. So my opinion is not valid in this number 8 position. Yeah. But I think the consensus right now is Lauryn Hill is going around there. So we'll pencil her in.
Fair enough.
We'll pencil her in, and because who's moved the doc? Oh, that was me.
Wait, what, Kieran? What have you got to say about it? Kieran, what's your thoughts on Miseducation? Because I do have a counter as well. I do have a counter.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I was writing my album notes today, and I didn't even write any negatives for Lauryn Hill, so I'm kind of like going off my head now. But
That's freestyling.
yeah, I think for what in the medium of rap and hip hop, there are 7 more albums I think that achieve that medium better than she did on this album. I think her genre blending of neo soul and hip hop was incredible, and like that's a feat that shouldn't be ignored. It's kind of like how MIA mixed dancehall with hip hop on Arula. It's incredible, but and yeah, like Lost Ones is some of the best rapping we've ever heard. Like it's mad that she got Bob Marley's whole relatives to come and do the ad libs on that song. Like it's a crazy song, but I just think like all of the albums I've put above this reach like heights that I don't know if this album actually touches on a hip hop level other than Lost Ones does.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
You got a point.
But the thing that I was going to bring up as well, and it's an interesting talking point, is some of you may know the sort of controversy that comes with this album as well. In recent years, especially, there's been a lot of there's been accusations, there's been lawsuits, basically saying that musicians didn't get paid for the work on there, that she didn't write as much as it as it says on the credits. Some even more damning than that. If, say, we were to find out that Lauryn Hill didn't write this, that people didn't get paid what they should have got paid for the production, for instrumentation, whatever, do we still view this album in the same way?
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, we gotta cancel half the fucking list, man. Because NWA, all the, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Drake.
Yeah, exactly,
we can't deal with all this. Oh, this person's a terrible person. We're talking about the music.
At the end of the day, she still performed it really well. I don't care whether she didn't write it or not. She still, you could get anybody on the street to try and perform it. They're not performing it the way Lauryn Hill performs it. I couldn't care less if she wrote it.
And with sung things, a lot of the time people collab with writing anyway. She just thought, I'm not going to credit it this time.
Yeah, me personally, it doesn't change it for me. No. It doesn't change it. You know, as Theo says, the performance is flawless, and you can't change. You can't change it. It's an amazing piece of work. The only thing for me is it would just make me question how much I respect and hold her as an artist. And because the difference between and I would rather talk about the album as the group that made it than Lauryn Hill. Because the difference with a Ye and a Dre is that it says on the credits that other people write.
Fair enough.
That's the difference. Dre and Ye have never shied away from having other people in the room, whereas Lauryn Hill, it kind of says, written, produced, and all that stuff. But it's still an amazing album.
So what's your number 7 then? If College Dropout, if College Dropout is number 8, what's number 7?
Same as mine.
I had the Chronic. Chronic.
And yours is the Chronic as well.
Yeah.
Well, mine was.
Are you willing to accept?
I don't know where you guys are putting the Chronic. If you're going wow like this, I really
in
don't.
The bottom 5, but not that low, man.
Okay, what in the so it's 6 then.
There you go.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I put Chronic number 1. I put it number 1 today. I'm telling you the truth. Like, that's me right now.
Out of all what you see on this list, you're putting the Chronic at.
I put Chronic number
Kieran,
1.
Man.
I'm sorry.
I put it number 1.
You've been smoking that reefer too much, man. Jeez, Chronic number 1.
He's on that Kanye loud pack because what are you smoking, bro?
Guys, we'll get to that when we discuss it. But
I was okay with Sam having that 6-1. No way. Sorry. No way.
I have 3 perfect albums on my list, and that's one of them.
So do I, and that's why my top 3 looks how it looks. But all right, okay.
So how are we handling this Chronic thing then?
Oh my days.
Who's going to go first?
The Chronic doesn't go where you guys are saying it goes. It goes around number 6. Number 6, number 5, I'll be happy. But this is the problem with what's going on.
Let's hold off with Chronic.
We need to just establish what's in the bottom 5, and maybe we then debate from there.
That's true.
So Straight Outta Compton, Arula, locked. We got to fill the next 6, 7, 8. And it's right now, what I'm looking at on my doc that I've got here is the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is definitely in the majority's bottom 5, right? The Chronic has come up twice, but Kieran is skewing it that,
Sam, don't you have it as 6 though?
Yeah, you have it 6.
But as I'm saying, Kieran is skewing it that he's saying that this is his top album, so we have to respect that. Do you know what I mean? We have to hear him out. So
let's let Kieran go then. Let's let Kieran say.
Let's hear it, Kieran. Come on,
guys. I feel like this album is it's the one that created that group album kind of vibe where you don't credit who's featured on it. You just make a body of work with all these different rappers and just let them experience it, like what Ye does and Travis does now, where they don't credit their features. I think and this does it so well too, because it's not just like any artist's feature, like, oh, we get a Post Malone little chorus here and stuff like that. This is like Snoop in his prime. This is Corrupt rapping probably better than he ever rapped after that. You got Lady of Rage rapping like... Lady of Rage raps so sick. Sometimes I'm thinking like, who the heck is this? Is she even a woman in this moment? Like, no hate. She's got a deep voice. She's got a deep voice. That's all.
Right. Okay. I thought okay.
No hate. And I was listening to it today, like deep in Corrupt, Snoop's and Rage's performances, and I was thinking like, this is arguably better than what Ren, Cube and Easy did on Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I think it's a level up on Straight Outta Compton.
Definitely.
I
Definitely
think
level up.
That's why he left, though.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? That's why he left to go do this. But it's not like it's for me. This album's not groundbreaking. It's just It's part of a process of setting it. No, when I say groundbreaking, I'm talking about in regards to this list. It started a chain of a trend. It's definitely started, Dre's career in a good direction. But it's not like damn, this is a great
album,
debut.
No, this album's perfect to me because you listen to every single song and the production just hits perfectly. I think it's better produced than College Dropout too, because there's some tunes of College Dropout, like Sean was saying, they're a bit off that time kind of thing. I think Dre done something where like he hit the perfect balance of gangster rap, but like what hip hop was becoming in that mid section of the West Coast with like the G-Funk.
Yeah.
So it's like you're hearing this heavy boom bap with such mellow vibes that no song on this album jars me, which is a crazy thing to say for a gangster rap album.
That's true. Do you know what it is for me?
It's definitely smooth.
I'm with Kieran on
we're talking on a production level with the Chronic. Like, it's less about like rap ability and rap performance. It's more like the soundscape that was made in it.
But that's the area where it falls down for me in comparison to others. So I appreciated the production on it is incredible. But I think so. I'm looking at the track list now. If you go through the sort of first 8 to 9 tracks, it's just incredible across the board, everything. But for me, if I'm being completely honest, if I'm being objective, from like the $20 sack pyramid,
I knew you
all
were
the way down to maybe.
You don't like that moment where they like play this at loud volume.
So let me just quickly clarify. So there's nothing I dislike on this whole list. Nothing I dislike. Okay. But I'm just comparing. If you think about Nothing But a G Thing, if you think about Little Ghetto Boy, Let Me Ride, that standard, and then you compare it to that kind of 5-6 track run. Again, it's like, I'm not saying that's bad and that's good. I'm just saying there's like a slight dip, I guess.
Let me talk through that though, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that section. You got Lyrical Gangbang and High Powered. They work together, right? Mm-hmm. One of them's like a posse cut that's top tier rapping. High Powered is more like just a beat, and then RBX comes in to rap on it. Then you get a funny skit off the Doctor's Office, and I feel like that's a sex skit done better than Biggie's one as well, definitely, because I burst out laughing with Doctor's Office.
There's better people that do that type of stuff, though. There's this guy called Dr. Octagon, which does the funniest skits you'll ever hear. So for me, when it comes to skits, Dr. Dre's album's great, but it's god tier skits. So this is why it's fallen to where it's fallen for me. I think you're going to have to accept that it's not going to be number one.
It's not going to be number one. I've accepted that already, but I feel like, I don't know why it's that low on Sean's and Theo's.
Well, we're just trying to establish the bottom. We're trying to fill the next 3 slots, and right now it's looking like Lauryn Hill is definitely going in there. Sorry, Sean. The Chronic might have to go there, because right now it's like Sean's got it at 7, Theo's got it at 7, I've got it at 6, you've got it at 1, which is just a problem in general. Like, that's just a big problem. But okay, so
I can't believe you're saying that with what you've just said about Illmatic.
I know, trust me.
You man are just fanboys, man. What can I do against a bunch of fanboys if not just to hold my corner in it? So what goes?
Complete slander.
What goes at? You man. Everybody's got something.
I'll tell you what goes next. It's Good Kid, Mad City.
Leave the call. Get out of the call.
Really? I can't believe
the call, man. What do you mean, Good Kid, Mad City goes? Are you insane in your head?
That's my hot take.
You listen to
No,
the album
Kieran,
nah, come on, man.
No, Kieran, you're no. Honestly, it can't be that.
You have to talk now.
It cannot.
You're saying
be
Good
that,
Kid, Mad City goes at what?
Really?
Number 7 or number 6?
Number 7.
Nah.
Yep. Because I felt like College Dropout had higher heights on it. With Good Kid, Mad City, I don't need to say the good things about it, but I felt like there's. I can't even focus.
Because you're trying shit. You're just freestyling.
No, listen to me.
Man's
Listen to me.
man's
I'm not
doing
freestyling.
jazz.
I got my essay.
Oh my god.
Let's hear it.
I feel like there's certain songs that are much stronger than others on that album, and for me, that doesn't make it move up a tier. Like some tracks, like Poetic Justice, I only just started liking that this morning. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like that for a whole 10 years. Yep.
What?
Yep. Yep. And Real,
Kieran
Real,
disliked
I'm
it
not
so
sure.
much he liked it for longer than it's been out for.
Real, I'm not sure if I actually like Real still, but it's vibey.
Nah, but it's got so much meaning to it. I remember
Yeah,
detailing.
it
this
does,
to
but
Sean,
meaning
man.
doesn't trump like
I have to be honest, I've never cared for that hook.
musicality.
I know you've never cared for.
The hook is embarrassing, and Poetic
Nah,
Justice
we gotta
hooks
play
are
that now. We
embarrassing
gotta
too.
play. I'm
No,
sorry.
the hook is not embarrassing. I mean, that's going a level way too far. Flip here now. Hook is embarrassing. I'm not having any of that.
I
slander.
chose the
That's
wrong
it.
adjective.
don't like
Yeah,
this.
I know.
You
I'll
know
admit it.
how- Theo,
I
you know
chose
how I
I
feel
chose
that
the wrong. Yeah.
No,
No, I'm
I feel
not
that
having that, man.
Hold on.
Embarrassing.
You don't like this hook?
Turn it off now.
Oh, come on,
It's
man.
wavy, actually, you know.
No, what
Sean,
you saying, bro?
Sean, stop it.
It's
No.
fire, man.
Stop
That's
it.
what I'm real. I'm real. I'm
You look like
really
Baz.
real. Oh no, this is
Let
fire,
me
man.
make
I'm
my
not
last
having that
point.
I'm holding
Let me
my
make my last
vape
point.
thing.
Nah,
But
nah,
come
be
on,
quiet.
man. You
Hold on. Let me make my last point, and I'll be quiet about it.
no,
I
you
feel
have to be
like-
loud.
Listen, no, because I know
you
my
just-
points are invalid, clearly. But like, let me just say what I'm thinking.
Let me be
I-
me.
There's certain tracks on this album I would not listen to stand alone. You have to sit through the album to enjoy them, like Real, like Poetic Justice. I wouldn't, except on a summer's day, I'd put on some Poetic Justice, but like, I wouldn't. This album's, it's a movie, right? But I'm not here for every scene in the movie.
Who is? Damn. No one's ever there for every scene in the
I am
movie.
Look, there's 3 albums on this list that I am here for, every single track.
And this isn't one of them.
But
No.
the thing is,
But
when you say standalone tracks, we are treating this like an album, not singles, not standalone tracks. We are treating it as an album, so you're listening from top.
and I'm
to
saying I
bottom.
only like them when I listen to the album.
Exactly. So you're treating it as an album, not just picking single songs from it.
But
it's
what
album.
about albums that
ain't got the answers, man. You
every
ain't
song
got the
from
answers,
separately,
Kanye.
and
You ain't
like,
got the answers. You ain't got
whilst
the answers,
also
Sway.
listening through and liking it too?
I mean, that's a different subject, man. We're treating it as an album. That's all I'm going to do.
But
Albums, top to
subjectively,
bottom.
look, subjectively, this is my number 1 album on the list. I love this album.
What do you
It's one of my
mean?
favorite albums ever.
so why is
No,
it not up in the
I
list?
get I get
Objectively-
Kieran on that. I get Kieran.
No, I hear what you mean when you say
there's better
objectively,
albums.
Yeah, no, Kieran, I'm glad you said that because that's why College Dropout
Stop
where it
with
was
this
for me.
subjective stuff. Like,
So put Nas at number 8 then, and stop with this subjective
I'm not
stuff.
having that. I'm sorry. 'Cause I've actually been respectful. If I'm being if now I'm like tripping myself out. If I'm just thinking just me, Illmatic's number 1 for me, but it's not on my list. It's not on my list. It's not number 1 on my list because I'm treating it how it should be. But Illmatic for me is just like that's a 10 for me. That's
What person? Well, hang on.
unbelievable
So
album.
are you saying personally? So if this was a favourite, Illmatic
Yeah.
would be number
Oh
1.
yeah, Illmatic's number 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Mad.
But it's not number 1 on my list. It's not number
Okay,
1.
wait.
I'm with
so-
Kieran. You know, I think Good Kid's mine. Good Kid's mine out of this. Like my
Yeah.
favourite.
it's
Yeah.
my number
But
1.
I've just got such vivid memories attached to it.
And I'll admit, Chronic was my number 2. That's why it's probably number 1.
Oh, really?
Okay, wait, hold on. So Good Kid, Mad City for you, Kieran. It's going at number 6 or number 7?
I got biased on that. That is going 7.
Okay. Well, I think we all agree that.
But it's up to you guys.
I'm
I mean,
just saying.
where does everyone else have Good Kid, Mad City? Because I have it at 5. I have it number 5.
Man, I'm just smoking spice.
mine's-
It's in my
mine's
top
top five.
5, yeah, and it's
Yeah,
up,
it's in my top.
up in the top 5.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, same.
It's
Same.
up
I'm not-
there.
It's not 5. Mine's high. Mine's high. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not higher than 5. Let's go with Sean's
No,
one.
no, it's higher than 5. Yeah, on my list, it's higher than 5.
If I was
There's definitely 4 albums better than Good Kid, Mad City on this.
I don't know. I don't know.
anyway,
I really don't know.
I don't know about that. But okay, so we're just struggling to pin down the bottom 5, right? Lauryn Hill is in there. Sorry, Sean.
I think we put. It seems
I'll
like Lauryn
accept
Hill's gonna go
Chronix in there as well, just because you guys are on one.
Can we come back and order the bottom 5 later? And just agree.
So wait, so okay.
What are we moving on to, though?
We're moving on to number 6 because that's going to be where shit starts getting
okay.
real. Because it's like I've tried to figure out what's everyone's 6, 7, and 8, and it's like it's we're getting to that territory now where people are starting to like objectively rank things rather than subjectively. So it's like, all right, I know Illmatic's not going to be in the bottom 5. Yeah, fair enough. We know.
Wait, I swear we're meant to. It's like kind of meant to be objective, though, isn't it?
It's meant it's trying to be a mix between the two though, because I was never going to
It's
put
hard.
Nas in the top
It's hard
5.
not to.
No, it is. Trust me, it's difficult. It is difficult, but
So let's just for now slide in Lauryn Hill at number 8.
okay.
Put the Chronic at number 7, just for now, because that's the only consensus we have.
That's true.
That's the only consensus. There's a majority on those two being in that order right now.
Okay. So what have people got for number 6?
Good Kid or College Dropout?
College Dropout, yeah, College Dropout.
I've got Reasonable Doubt.
What's for your quiet?
Yeah, I've got
no.
because
What's
I'm waiting,
that?
because mine's reasonable doubt as well. Mine's reasonable doubt as well.
Come here, let me lobotomize you. Delete. Watch the throne out your fucking head. Because what the hell are you talking about?
It's not just Sean. Reasonable doubt's my number 6 as well.
Nah, mine's College Dropout, man.
Yo.
Nah,
It's not reasonable doubt. Let's just choose College Dropout and keep it moving.
Because Sean agrees College Dropout needs to go down, yeah? It needs to go down in the list, yeah? So he thinks it should be at number, what? He say 8. I'm saying put it at number 6. We're good. Unless Theo's got
Fair
it
enough.
at like number 1 or 2 or something.
I think Chronic's
I've
better
not
than
got
College Dropout, to be honest. The rapping's better on that album.
I also think the Chronic is a bit better than College Dropout as well.
No, you can't do that now. You
See,
can't.
now-
you can't
now
No, I
it's
do.
split.
You
Now
can't.
I've got.
split.
I have College Dropout 8,
Higher, yeah, I know.
Chronic 7.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily swap my number. I don't know. You could see. I was interplaying with this list massively, so reasonable doubt could go
I'm
higher.
pissed.
I'm not going to
Don't talk
lie.
about that. Let's not talk
Let's
about
not
that.
even bring that
about
into the
that.
equation
What
because
do you
that's
mean
just
don't talk about that?
foolishness.
Top 5.
Interchangeable.
It's cool. It's
That's
complete
top 5.
foolishness that the reasonable doubt is number 6. It's absolute foolishness.
What is...
So where have you got it?
Yeah, where have you got it?
In the
I've
top
got it
5,
fourth-
you
I've got it
fucking
fourth
idiot.
place, honestly. In an honest place, it's 4th for me.
Oh, it can't be 4 for me.
It's 3. It's 3 for me.
Nah, it can't be 3 either.
As
I
a
would
whole
agree with
pack-
Sam's
I
as
can-
well, yeah.
as a whole
You
package,
you can sway me, guys, because I can then knock College Dropout to number 6 and put Reasonable Doubt.
Alright,
at,
let me tell you why
at
it's number
5. I can hit
3.
that.
Yeah,
That's
slash
fine.
it's not number 6. Right. Out of all of these albums, it has some of the best beats you'll ever hear. Right. And
yeah, I hear
and those beats to this day, till now, still bang. Can't Not the Hustle bangs. Politics as Usual bangs. Dead Presidents bangs. Feeling It bangs. The Evils bangs.
Bangs.
Can I Live bangs.
Bangs. I think even 22-2's bangs.
I'd skip that because I thought it's subjective. I'm talking about just
Oh,
undeniable
no,
bangers.
I think that bangs. I really do.
And
I think
Cashmere
that run
Thoughts
is ridiculous.
bangs. The only
Yeah.
thing you could complain about this album is there's too many songs that don't really go anywhere. But if you cut the fat out of this and you keep the strong 10 tracks that's there, Can't Not the Hustle, Politics as Usual, Brooklyn's Finest, Dead Presidents, Feeling It, The Evils, 22-2s, Can I Live, Cashmere Thoughts, and Regrets.
I would even put Bring It On.
Yeah,
on there.
but
I'm saying
Bring
it's
It On
not-
is hard.
This is why I'm saying it's in the top 5, innit? Because
Yeah,
I'm looking at it from bars
and
and beats.
No, yeah. But that's why I'm saying I'm open to it. That's why I know you were getting mad that I'm saying interlude, but I could easily push Reasonable Doubt up to 5. I'll even put it up to
yeah.
5 and put College Dropout at 6.
Because do you
I
know,
just-
like
yeah.
the songs that aren't like the highlights, the deep cuts and everything, they're better than most rappers' whole careers. Let's be real.
Well,
Cashmere
no,
Thoughts,
I-
The Evils,
yeah.
Can I Live, Regrets. They're just different. And the songs that Sam was saying are fat. They just expand the universe of that mafioso rap that he was doing.
Yep. And without
They're
this,
not useless songs.
without Reasonable Doubt, I don't think there's any room in the game for people like Rick Ross or what's the other guy, Benny the Butcher. But people are doing that high level, like drug dealer kind of esque
Well, it opened the door,
Cocaine
didn't
rap.
No, it definitely opened the door. I hear that 100%.
No, I don't know if it opened the door, man. I think it's one
I
of
think it
the.
did.
I think it's one of the important early albums, but I think only Built for Cuban Links opened that.
But
door.
no, they don't do it bluntly in Only Cuban Links. They do it.
What do you
He
mean?
really like they talk in slang and like hide what they're saying. Whereas Jay-Z on this is so like clear what he's talking
It's more
about.
accessible, yeah.
It's even in the
He's
title
explicit
though.
about it.
In the Reasonable Doubt, it's like, did I do this? Didn't I do this? I know, but I'm rapping about it. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, I feel like there's layers to Reasonable Doubt that there isn't that same level of layers on College Dropout. So the College Dropout.
There's also like some of the best songs though. Like The Evils is probably the
The Evils
best
is
written
hard.
song
No,
on the album.
The Evils is just
And, like,
I was listening
yeah.
to that before the call. That call is phenomenal.
it's just
Call?
mad,
You
like-
mean, you know what I mean? Song. I don't
Yes.
know what I'm saying now.
Jay,
If we're getting nitpicky though, what like we were talking about the hook on Real for Good Kid, Mad City. What do people think about feeling its hook?
I like it. That's a
No, I
vibe.
like that. No,
That's
I
like
like
it's like jazzy.
I know what you mean,
jazzy.
Joe. I know what you mean.
I like it.
I personally like
That's
it.
a
yeah.
banger,
I
man.
like it. And what about the track with Foxy?
Not so good.
It's
Oh,
a
what,
vibe.
ain't-
That's a vibe.
What, is it? Ain't no. Oh, what? Why has it got?
If a rapper of today drops a song
Tierra
sounding
Whack
like
makes
that,
music like that already, and it
but that
bangs.
Lego song was nah. I love Tierra Whack, but some of the stuff's a little bit.
Bit weird.
It's a bit.
Bit too
yeah,
far.
it's a bit cheesy for me. But there's a few moments. The reason why for me it sits in 6. But I'm not mad at it being number 5. It's not a big difference. The reason why it sits in 6 for me is just that like there are some moments in there where I'm like, if this gets dropped today, does it sound? Is it really gonna?
Yeah.
Is it timeless? Like
Yeah, it's timeless.
there's a few
It's
moments.
off its time, but it's not dated.
It's timeless.
No.
don't think-
No. I agree with you. But there's just certain moments. There's like a few moments in it where I'm like,
Oh, well, this is iconic.
I mean, that's one of the. That is the. Yeah.
iconic.
Their presence is.
What do you
my
keep you safe, me?
goodness.
You need to carry on playing the Evils, man. That
No,
song
this-
is hard.
Can I live?
Like the mixes on these tunes as well. They all hit so hard.
This is what I'm saying. I feel like as a project, yeah, this is one of the strongest projects on this list.
The album shouldn't be this good, but it is.
What do you mean?
Because like the producers, there's not that many like
Big
GOAT
names.
producers on this album. There's like Primo, obviously, but I don't think there's that many others. You're thinking like it's not gonna sound that hard. Like the mix isn't gonna last until this day. But the way Sam played those beats just now, they hit so heavy.
Yeah. I thought you were going down that avenue. The other thing for me is it's independent, right?
Yeah,
I think it is, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Which is incredible, really, for the time,
Well,
especially.
this is the thing. Okay, I'm just trying to get to the top 5 because that's where stuff's about to get real interesting and we might not become friends anymore. the college dropout, yeah, is going at number 6 because all we're trying to do is pin down what is not top 5 material, and once again, the consensus among everybody is college dropout is not. It's not cutting it, which is a surprise to me. But obviously, I had it at number 6. I thought you guys were going to fight to get into
Yeah,
the top 5.
it's painful, man. It's painful because it's probably
painful,
like in my top 3 favorites on this
Should I
list.
tell you what I wrote
love it.
about that one is? I feel like Kanye wasn't at the peak of his rapping at all. We can all agree on
Right.
that.
No, he
Right.
wasn't.
And,
He wasn't.
like,
He wasn't.
He'd given
the
away
Can't
some of
Tell
his
Me
best
Nothing.
beats.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
When
Because
he got
we
to
all
Can't
know-
Tell Me
yeah.
Nothing, that was when like he peaked at the rapping style that he's
you're-
doing on this.
Yeah, but I'm
But
glad
then
you
when you-
mentioned that.
yeah,
I'm glad you
okay.
mentioned because graduation. Because so for this, I'm not. There's no doubt that the college dropout was influential, but I feel like the kind of the Kanye takeover didn't happen until graduation, really, did it? Because if you think about it, like the year after, 50 Cent still sold like over 1 million records the first year. Gangster rap was still the in thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanye was like this breath of fresh air that was selling mad records, but it still wasn't. It hadn't taken over. By the time graduation came, though, it was.
Through
you
the
know,
Wire
in
was a big
808.
song though. Through the Wire did bust
That's
bust
amazing.
through, and it's timeless. Yeah, we'll give it that.
mean,
like, we're not
yeah.
we're not
I
completely
think
trashing it.
Jesus Walks did as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Jesus Walks was-
but
yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing
And
is,
Slow Jams.
the college dropout, late registration. For me as a child, right, they all blurred into just one. These all had Kanye's hits on them. Do you know what I mean? These are Kanye's classic hits. It's not like this album, because I feel like I never really heard the albums till I was like an adult. Do you know what I mean? I just heard all the songs, all the skits, all mixed up together, and it all just blurs into one. There's no like, this body of work is amazing, and that's why the college dropout is kind of a little bit. If we talk about best albums from any of these artists, obviously we're going to bring up My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
And
absolutely.
that goes to the top of the list, didn't it? But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think no discredit to College Dropout though, because the vibe of the dropping out of college comes throughout, and it makes it funny
brilliant,
when the
yeah.
skits come.
Arguably my favourite skits. I love the skits in it.
Oh, the skits are
thematically, out of all these albums, it's one of the first that sticks to a theme the whole way through and tells a story.
Yeah.
Apart from Lauryn Hill and stuff, but yeah, hearts are about to be broken. Everyone's gonna be pissed. What's about to happen now is gonna make things really difficult in the next few weeks.
This is such a hard podcast to actually
This
do organised.
This is a good and a terrible idea all at once. This episode, because like, let's be honest now. Yeah, the top 5 is where everything's about to get real messy. Like real messy, real scrappy. Because I ain't gonna lie, 2 of my top 5 are gone now.
To be honest, one's gone for me right now.
So have we just put College Dropout number 6?
We have to.
yeah, I'm happy.
Okay.
In the interest of
All right.
moving on to the top 5, where the real meat and potatoes, we can.
Good Kid,
to
Mad
this.
City needs to come next. I'm saying that now.
Well, that's where it comes for me. Good
It
Kid
needs
comes
to
fifth
come
for me.
now.
I'm not really feeling that. I really
It
am
has
not
to.
Do you know what it is for? Do you know what it is for me with Good Kid? And I've got a confession for.
It's not even
for the
his
listeners
debut
out there.
album, by the way. Like, I just wanted to say that Section 80 is his
Section
debut.
80 would go at number 5, 100%. But
No, it wouldn't.
yeah, well, Section 80
No,
bangs.
it
Section
really
80
wouldn't.
bangs.
No,
You
it
man
wouldn't.
haven't
It
listened
does,
to Section 80.
but-
I remember I gave you Section 80 on a CD, and both of
You
you man
did.
threw it to the side.
And then you gave it to me.
It took me months to listen
I
to
told
that.
you, I said, this guy's next, this guy's next. Man, chatting shit. Oh, who's this guy?
I'll
Kendrick
admit
Lamar.
it.
Oh my days. I wish I could go back in time and punch you in the head when I gave you both that CD. Well, I gave you that CD, Kieran.
You got past to me.
Well, God, nah.
Moving
man.
on.
Section 80 is hard. Section 80.
Not gonna lie though, I had Hole Up as my alarm for about a year.
Man,
Every
Hold Up
morning
is
I woke
what-
up to
what
Hold Up.
track, man.
Section
Good.
80 gave me
You-
this vibe of like,
yeah.
of like 20 dudes standing in the rain, like trying to do a rebellion thing. Like, I don't know why it gave me that vibe, but
Well, it starts with your ethnicity, and that's the
Yeah.
vibe you get. That is the vibe you get.
But
straight
then
from
high
the get.
power is
Yeah,
like the
High Power.
revolution is
Campfire
happening.
vibes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we have to agree that as far as this discussion goes, Good Kid, Mad City is Kendrick's debut album, and
Yeah.
Debut studio album.
whatever that means.
To be
I thought it was
precise.
major
Whatever that
label.
means.
I thought it
Major
was
label. There we go.
yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So number 5 for both of you, but me and Theo are wanting to not do that.
This has to be Good Kid, Bad City now. Like, the albums we're talking about above this, they're perfect.
Nah. Nah. I'm sorry. Good Kid, Mad City was my number 1. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. But I know that that's biased for a fact, because it's
100%
my number
biased,
1,
but for me-
subjectively.
What I'm thinking
I think
about,
it's all our number ones, apart from Theo. But yeah,
He's
considering
an older head.
No, man, no, I'm sorry.
I'm
that
joking.
album
I'm
would-
joking.
I'm thinking of, so bear in mind there's albums in here that are
putting it
30
at 3
years
years
old,
old.
20 years old, 10 years old. Bro. What's going on?
Sorry. No, carry on.
I'll say this album.
I just imagine Theo head knocking at 3 years old.
What I'm saying.
represent.
What I'm saying is, whose world is this? Anyway,
Let's get put the dummy out. One love.
oh no. So okay, hear me out on this. There's albums on here that are 30 years old, and I'm talking about in the bottom 5. Yeah, 30 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old. Now I'm thinking, considering Good Kid, Mad City is coming up to its 10-year anniversary, will I listen to this album in 20 years from now? Yes. That's why it's so high up on my list. Because I'm thinking about longevity, what can sit well in a playlist or in my mood or in my mix, whatever situation I'm in life, right? But I'm willing to compromise because I'm looking at what's left to go in the top 5. I'm willing to compromise and put it at number 4, but not at number 5.
What would you put below it?
Illmatic.
Stop. We need to stop this.
We have to get it out of the way, man.
Let's talk about Illmatic right now. Because
No, we're talking about Good Kid, Mad City.
It's good that we're doing this because these two albums are comparable. A lot of people were talking about Good Kid, Mad City being like the Illmatic of its time, so this is good. I like this. Continue.
You got to be realistic here. Out of what's about to come in the top 3, Illmatic is not part of that.
No, Sam.
Oh,
stop.
no, I'm not having that.
Listen
It
now.
is not
I feel like
that.
I need to clarify this to the listeners. I don't think Sam personally rates Nas at all.
What do you mean you don't think?
baffles me.
It's a fact.
Like,
I don't rate him.
agree.
I'll
It's
say it
baffling
right now,
because-
live on tape, fam. Nas is a bottom tier, mid-level rapper.
This
Does
is
that
not-
make
stop.
sense?
No one is
Does
going to
that-
listen to us.
Does that
Listen,
make
listen
any
to
sense?
me.
What I've said
No,
to you? When
no.
I rationalize it to you, man, yeah, you man will understand it. Yeah, his career went like this. It started up.
Who
high.
cares about that, man? We're talking about Illmatic.
So the songs come into account of why I dislike this guy so much. Yeah, the music started okay. Yeah, then it was meant to get better.
Okay.
It didn't get better. It got worse. Then it got worse. Then it got better. Then it got a little bit better. But for all the people that liked the first one, it looked like it was going up like this. Man, his music was mid-tier the whole time. And listen, every sporting league, every fucking genre of music needs those mid-tier people to fill out the spots and fill out the
needs to
spaces
stop.
to bring liquidity to the scene. You understand?
Wait.
You got to have mid-level management so the CEO can do his thing. And what I'm trying to get to, the end point is, you man love Nas so much, but if I tried to make you guys explain, yeah, why he's so good, there's no feasible argument of why he's not the best at anything.
Yes, he is.
What's he
Yes.
the best at?
Is
I think
can
we all need to talk, but like
Yeah.
one at a time.
Yeah,
What's he the best at? Someone tell me what he's the
Can
best
I
at.
ju-
Throw it out there.
Can I just? I'm not going to say. I've probably not got much to say. I've probably not got as much to say as Kieran. But Sam, get Illmatic up on Spotify. Quickly.
I have it here.
Right. You've got it ready. Okay.
No,
Let's just
I don't
think.
have it ready.
Before, hang on, wait. Before Nas, you had Rakim, you had Cool G Rap, you had Slick Rick, you had Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Chuck D, amazing rappers, right? And then this guy comes out 18, 19 and starts rapping the way he does on something like Represent. Please play Represent right now.
yeah, representation.
Wait,
fire, man.
this is
Why? What is he the
1990s.
best at?
Wait,
This
wait,
is
wait,
the
wait.
question.
The
This ain't a listening
way
party.
he-
This is the question I've asked that no one has an answer
the
to.
way
What
he's
is he the
rhyming,
best
you have
at?
to just flow
You have
and
to
the way
just
he
remember
rides
that
the beat.
I can
is
tell you what he's the best
unbelievable.
at.
Tell
can tell you.
Tell me what he's the best at, and we'll play Represent. And if it doesn't show me Represent, if
Go
he's
for
the
it,
best at
Kieran.
that, then
Go for
That's
it,
it's
yeah.
not in Represent, but it's on Memory Lane. Nas is the best at making opening lines. Like he can craft 4 lines when he starts a verse that will blow your mind straight away. You'll have to reload the track. I can name 3 tracks that do that on Illmatic.
we're not listening to
but he has
3
it
tracks.
on-
We're gonna play this.
We're
Then
not
we're gonna
gonna.
play Memory
No.
Lane. Yeah.
No,
And
play Memory Lane. Just
We're
play
not gonna play.
Memory Lane.
You said play Represent. We're gonna play the first couple verses of Represent. Yeah. Obviously, listeners, you're gonna have to go do that for yourself. But if you're with me and you're rocking with this, yeah, Nas is hitting number 4, number 5. He's not going anywhere higher than that.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
You're listening to this on your ones.
That's how it should be. Shit, man. So wait, hold on.
You got to share the screen.
I haven't been sharing the audio. Whoa, wait. Anyway, I'll just keep it from where it's going to. Anyways, the listeners can hear it. And fuck.
The flow.
But it's a DJ
way
Premier
he's-
beat.
No one-
That's
Yeah,
what's
but
making
but
it
the
so
way
good
he's
to you.
riding
lot.
that beat
No,
is
no, 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 no.
unbelievable.
Lyrically, this is the one. But
Nas is the greatest lyricist of all
Gonna do a little something like this, you know what I'm saying?
The flow's not that interesting. The
Um,
beat is what's carrying that. You man are just in
Oh
denial.
no!
The flow is not. The flow is
sorry.
not that.
Are you
The flow on The
serious?
World Is Yours and
How
New York
can
State
you
of Mind
say
is more
this?
interesting to me as a listener
That-
because I feel like I've
That has
heard.
MF Doom esque, like that's like MF Doom. I don't know how you can't like
Okay,
that.
okay. I'm gonna reason with you lot. What's the lowest you're willing to put Illmatic? How do you?
number 2.
Third,
Yeah, third for me.
Third
Yeah, third
lowest.
for me. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Would you be
That's
willing
like-
to see it go at number 3? Because I'll be happy to see it go at number 3. Considering I wanted it in the bottom 5, number 3 is the lowest.
I wouldn't be angry, but no lower.
All right, we'll
accept no lower.
pencil that in then, because
Pencil.
we'll pencil that in. It's all subject to debate. It's all subject to debate. Right. So
There's more to say about that album as well.
Well,
We'll get to
that's
it.
what I'm saying. We'll get to it because we're trying to go up. Okay, so number 5. We're still trying to pin down number 5.
Ready to Die.
Not mad at that.
No, I'm not mad either. I've got it higher, but I'm not mad.
I've got higher.
I've got it 1 space higher.
Listen to these songs and tell me if you'd ever listen to them standalone. Friend of mine, Me and My Bitch, and like the sex skit in general.
Me,
as well.
me and my bitch.
Yeah,
I
the
would
sex
listen to it
skit
on my
is
own.
That's
horrific.
skippable.
horrific,
It's like I don't want to imagine Biggie having sex with this person ever in my life.
I don't really want to hear it on any album.
I just
Like,
don't
if I'm
like.
honest, I don't-
I just don't like. hits
No,
whatsoever.
neither do I.
They're
Like, you're having sex, well done. Like,
The album is quite offensive, but some of the songs on here are absolute, like, what I would call
God tier, yeah.
party
I mean,
ending
Warning
songs.
is-
If you play Big Papa in a party, the party is over.
We were talking about Lauryn Hill's album being really accessible to like wide listeners, but I feel like Ready to Die kind of did that too with like Juicy. I don't know who can't like that song. It's just a song about positivity and everyone can relate to that.
Yeah.
It's a
Whether
song
like
about
you've
a
gone through
come up.
struggle.
Yeah, it's a song
I
about
always
come up.
say, like, for anyone that's never listened to rap or hip hop before, Juicy is the perfect intro song.
Yeah.
So if you don't like this, just don't bother. Just you
Yeah.
know.
But everyone likes Juicy
Incredible.
though because it's got
Yeah,
that
it's just-
it
yeah.
captures something that you can't really describe other than the fact it's really, really good.
And this it's a weirdly versatile album as well. Like stuff like Suicidal Thoughts is like alternative hip hop with like a conceptual
Yeah.
idea in it.
I feel like, I don't know whether you will agree, but I feel like this album, along with Illmatic and one that we've not spoke about yet, Into the Woo, was like a trifecta of like the resurgence of East Coast at the time, if you think about it, because the Chronic, Dr. Dre, Snoop was dominating the sound big time. And then you had, well, for me, the Enter the Woo is more the sound, the production, and there was just nothing like it at all. It had a huge impact, whether you talk about Mobb Deep, Hove, going forward, or whatever. Illmatic and Nas was more just we had never heard lyricism on that level before. And then with this, this was like the mainstream rival. I know it didn't sell like the Chronic, and it didn't sell anything like the next album, like Life After Death at the time, but the singles and just the sort of the mainstream appeal it had, it felt like a real sort of rival to that G-Funk West Coast sound at that time, in my opinion.
New York
I
sound
always put them
definitely
through-
was more like a oh, let me romance this girl type. It's an odd thing to try to describe, yeah, but it's like if LA was like we're out here in the sun selling crack, New York felt like Tim's, late nights, do you know what I mean, like big jackets type vibes. Like I can't describe it in anything other than like looking at it visually. So yeah, okay. So are we all agreeing or disagreeing that it can go in at number 5? Because I haven't heard Theo say anything.
No, because I had it higher, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad at I'm not mad at
me
what
too.
people's points. I'm really not. I had it higher. Don't get me wrong. I definitely
did I.
had Ready to Die higher. So
I think in terms of, like I said, Nas was like, again, we hadn't really heard lyricism on that level to that point, in my opinion. But in terms of just someone who had the full package as a rapper, I still think Biggie's the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
I just think he sounds amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But with
Amazing.
people that die before their time, yeah, I just always feel like you can't make those assumptions that they're the greatest to ever do it. Because let's say Nas died after Illmatic and Stillmatic, yeah, I would be here like, yeah, Nas is one of the best of all time as well.
That's so true.
But
as
his
well.
career
Yeah, very
trajectory,
true, yeah.
his career trajectory has, for me, middled him out. Where he's just like, you know what I mean? Because if you are the greatest to ever do it, then you still have relevance. When I say to this day, I don't mean as in like relevance, because that track he dropped with Jay-Z is really, really good. I quite like it, yeah. But I'm talking about if Nas drops an album, it's never going to hit number 1, and it's never going to shift culture. And I
it
say
won a Grammy,
never.
though.
I say never with like full force, because I know it never will.
It won a Grammy.
yeah,
Macklemore wins Grammys over Kendrick. What's that conversation?
I'm going to say Grammys to me are just, the Grammys are so far off yeah. I'm pleased he won it, but
How many Grammys does he
Grammys.
have? There's people on this list that got more Grammys than Nas has albums. Let's put it that way.
Linking
I
to what
just
you
never
said though, Sam, though. Oh, sorry, what you
yeah,
said, Sean?
about big. No, I was going to say I've never found the Grammys to be a sort of accurate representation of like what actual good music is, but that's another conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, linking to what you said, Sam, that's why I put Reasonable Doubt so high, and I think like that's why you did it as well, because the career that follows is so crazy. And to be honest, no one else on this list has that
That level of
follow-up
career.
career that lives up to the hype of that debut album.
The last
that
album
bang.
Jay-Z dropped is a classic album. 444 is a classic album.
Jay-Z's the best rapper ever. Like, just have to say that on this.
This is why I'm kind of
He is the
upset
GOAT. He is the
that
GOAT.
people are
There's
trying to
no
argue
debate-
that it's
there's no
not
debating
top
about
5, if not
No
top
debate.
3. But, okay, Ready to Die.
Good
Put it
Kid
in-
needs to come next. I'm saying that now. It needs to.
Jesus.
It needs to. No bias.
No bite. No.
Alright. So let's just recap because obviously the listeners might be a little bit lost right now. Yeah,
I'm lost myself.
because the list is in a weird place, right? The bottom two are cemented. Arula straight out of Compton. Yeah, so Arula at number 10, straight out of Compton number 9. We're trying to figure out 5 through 8 right now, but realistically 6 through 8 is locked. So number 8, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, The Chronic, and College Dropout. We might rejig them, we might not. Ready to Die slid in at number 5 only because Biggie died, and we can't really say that this album's the best album of all time when we haven't really got that much to comparatively. Because the thing is, even though it's a debut, it's like this is where you started your career. Where does it go? Unfortunately, his career didn't go anywhere because he died. So yeah, we're on to number 4, and Kieran wants to put Good Kid, Mad City in there.
Yeah, bitch.
I'm not trying to.
For me, it's either Reasonable Doubt or Good Kid.
Look, Jay-Z raps so much better on Reasonable Doubt than Kendrick on Good Kid. I know Kendrick raps good on Good Kid, but Jay-Z kills it.
But is Reasonable Doubt as is concise and as thematically consistent as Good Kid?
No, but it's just better. That's the unfortunate opinion here. It's just better. Kendrick is a thematic rapper.
Yeah, exactly.
Kendrick is a thematic rapper. Yeah, we can't deny that, but he's always been on that. Jay-Z has never been on that, and half this.
Jay doesn't lose the mafioso theme though. That's throughout, the songs fit that theme as well. Whereas I think Kendrick's one goes through like a landscape of his life. So he puts the skits in to make songs gel that wouldn't gel if they didn't have that skit.
I get what you
Jay-Z
mean.
didn't do that.
It's more explicitly consistent because of I get
Or even
what you mean.
cohesive might be the right word.
Yeah, you're right.
Cohesive is the right word.
So what would you put at number 4, Sean? Then
With what we've got left, I mean, this is where I'm trying to get rid of the bias on Good Kid, Mad City. I'm trying to remove it. Oh, it's hard. I'm probably with Kieran then. If that's what we've got left, we've only got 4 left, right?
Yeah.
So
3 technically.
I mean, no, I'm gonna stick by my guns. I genuinely feel that Good Kid, Mad City is a slightly better album. I'll stick with my guns.
Yeah, because I'll put Reasonable Doubt at 4. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I've got Good Kid, Mad City just above Reasonable Doubt.
I had Reasonable Doubt right at number 2. I'm just putting it out there, yeah. And I had Good Kid, Mad City at number 1. So for me, this is kind of I didn't have a number 2. I'm talking about. I had at number 3, and Good Kid, Mad City at number 1. So this is kind of not soul destroying, but it's definitely like I'm questioning what's going on now, and the fact that Reasonable Doubt and Good Kid, Mad City are being discussed. Did this slow down?
It's not even that low.
It's top 5.
This slow down in the top 5 is a bit much for me personally.
But then we haven't even started talking about Enter the Woo yet.
That's just,
I think we know where the top 1 and 2 discussion is in a different place, yeah. Because my number 1 is a biased number 1, but my number 2 is definitely solidly locked in, if not going up higher. Solidly locked. I'm so confident on that. I'm so confident on that one.
Well, let's just do a round. Let's just do it. Go round.
Yeah.
So number 4 is what? With
Reasonable
what we've got left.
Reasonable
I say
Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt as well.
Good Kid.
Yep.
Good Kid.
Reasonable Doubt.
There we go.
Let's go with the majority.
There we go.
Yeah. So what's
What-
number 3 then?
Illmatic.
I mean,
we really
yeah.
agreed that.
It has to be Good Kid. It has to be.
Yeah, I'm with Kieran now. Based on
So
what
you're
we've got
pushing
left.
Illmatic higher up this trash list?
Yes,
It's
man,
going
Illmatic
higher
is
up.
up there.
Slide
I just-
Illmatic at number
Illmatic-
6, man.
Illmatic is like
Everyone loves Illmatic. Like
Illmatic,
that
of course.
album
Everyone
has
on
not
this
dated.
call loves
no,
Illmatic.
it's been
It's-
30
it's
years and that album still bangs like it was just
Yeah.
released.
I'm trying to think of an album where that many of the top producers at that time, minus like 1 or 2, got together to do an album with
It's
a
an
new
all-star,
rapper.
yeah. It's an
Yeah,
all-star
that's what-
produced
there
album.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you took the words out of my mouth. It is.
I don't think that's ever happened before or after, too.
That's
to
what I
be
mean.
honest.
I'm struggling to think. When has that happened? When
An all-star album.
Can I just say, yeah, right? All jokes aside about me disliking Nas and whatever, yeah. If we were to put Illmatic at the top of this list, right? Now, if we were to do a top 10 rappers list, is Nas even making the top 5 of that list?
No, but that's a different
No, that's a
conversation.
This is the
different
conversation I'm trying to open up now. This is the conversation I'm trying to open
I think
up.
it can be argued.
Nah, to be honest, top 5. Nas doesn't make my top 5 rapper.
Right.
Are we,
So
are we
if he's-
talking just rapping? Are we just talking
We're
like the
talking about
ability to rap?
just rapping, not
Oh,
taking into
he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, Nas
for
is one of the
top
best
5.
lyricists.
For
yeah.
top
He's in the
5
conversation.
because
Top 10. Top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
Right.
Yeah, he's
So-
usually in my top 10.
So hear me
easily.
out on what I'm trying to say here. The top 5 of best debut albums is indicative of the top 5 rappers ever. Yeah. So if Nas is
It
not
doesn't
making,
have to be.
it
doesn't.
does.
Yeah,
Some
'cause
of the
rappers
best
improve
rappers don't
from
have a
their
good
debuts.
debut.
No,
Yeah,
it
exactly. They have
does.
terrible debuts.
Because what you start out like, it's not always going to say like, oh, this is what they're going to be like forever, but it's definitely like what will make your career go somewhere. So what I'm trying to say is, if you put Nas higher up this list, but he's not in your top 5 of favorite rappers, then it's just biased towards the album more so than about picking it apart for what it is.
But it's not even biased though, because it's not like personally, it's not. I don't even know if it's in my top 3 favorites on here because I can't act like I lived through it and that I have memories attached to it. Do you know what I mean? I have memories attached to it, but I mean I didn't live through it. I wasn't of that time, so it doesn't hold up to a Good Kid, or it doesn't have the replay value of a Good Kid or a College Dropout for me because I've lived with those albums. But again, it's going back to if you just try and put my head in that time, right? And imagine this 18, 19-year-old kid rapping over beats from the best producers at the time, flawlessly. And he doesn't, and the thing is, it was like I said, with all those names that I mentioned previously, it's like he took from those people, those influences, and just leveled up to me. When it comes to rhyme schemes, when it comes to just general lyricism, to flow, like the pockets he's finding, we're used to it because generally rap gets better over time. Rappers get better. So it's like Nas is like, it's not like this new thing to us. But if you think about at that time, who was rapping on that level?
But I can't go back to that time. So when I first experienced that album, I'd already listened to like 3 Jay-Z albums. I'd listened to Biggie Smalls. I'd listened to Tupac, and I was like, this guy's not any of these 3 guys anywhere near that. And I tried to, keep an open mind and stuff. And I was just like, it's just not hitting the same way. Now I see what you're saying about, oh yeah, he was the first to do it, but it's like I can't verify that. But
It's
what
not
I
even
can
the first though. It's not even the first. It's just he clearly had influences, but he wasn't biting. It was just, again, like I'm saying, it's sometimes people just come along and they're just of a certain skill level where you have to stand back and go, this person's special. And when you listen to Illmatic and you listen to the way he's rapping, and we've all done the history, even though we were all born around that time, but we didn't live through it. We don't remember it. We know what rappers were out at that time. We know what albums were released. And imagine hearing something like that at that time. It's amazing.
I can't, and that's my own bias. But if Illmatic, okay, so I guess the conversation I'm trying to open up is: does Illmatic go to number 1 or does it go to number 2?
No.
If we're putting Good Kid, Mad City at number
No.
3.
I don't have it as number 1.
Illmatic's number 3, I think. We're gonna settle on that.
So what? Wait, what? So what?
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Wait, what number are you on?
We're on
are you
number
on?
3, and so
Yeah,
we're trying to decide. You said Good Kid, Mad City should go there. You said it has to come eventually. And so I'm saying, well, if we're doing that, we're pushing Illmatic higher up the list. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I think personally, because Illmatic's a bit more concise, so you get through it and you experience exactly what it's doing in a shorter time. I always value that higher. I also think that Good Kid, Mad City has a few sounds that I finally understood what Sean said that time when we called him out for it, where it's like there's certain sounds on it that I wouldn't have produced that way. Like I do mixing and some of them just sound a bit whack, to be honest. Like there's like in swimming pools, there's like a drop sound that comes that isn't masked well at all in the song, and it's just
You're talking about that riser sound.
Yeah,
That riser sound, it does take me out.
But there's a few sounds in the album like throughout though that you're just like
there's a lot
maybe
of
not
things
now.
for me that are wrong with Good Kid, Mad City, and I'm talking from a objective standpoint, not a personal standpoint. But as like I said earlier, what am I going to listen to 20, 30 years from now? It's not going to be Illmatic, and it's not Illmatic today. Out of what we're trying to do here, and like this is trying to be like, I guess like a guide for listeners. If we put Illmatic at number 2, Good Kid, Mad City has to come at number 3, and then we already know what number 1 is.
This is actually our list, to be honest, and let's just be honest. I think like when you think of songs like Sing About Me and Mad City, how can this album not be higher than Illmatic? Because those two songs, the way they're crafted, are actually crazy. Illmatic doesn't have that.
For me, the recipe is like the best song to ever come out in my eyes.
It's the bonus track.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's the
matter.
bonus track.
That song is
even
like the
consider that
best
one.
song in
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
world.
saying.
When I heard that song, because I thought the album was done, yeah, especially because I don't remember if it came as 2 discs or if it was just like whatever. But the way I had it on my iPod, yeah, I heard Compton and I was like, oh, this is a good song. And then the recipe came on.
It's amazing
Mad.
when it drops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mad. I was like, I'm sorry, this album.
You'd
just
already
gets
heard
better.
it though, right? Before that
Yeah,
point,
you didn't hear it.
It's the
We'd all heard
transition though from
It'd
Compton
been
to
out for
Recipe.
eight.
But
No,
it
I
was
know what
like
you mean.
back to back Dre. Do you understand?
Oh,
Like,
okay. I was gonna say because it came out like
Yeah, it came out
a
time.
good
came out
few
before.
months
It came out
yeah.
before with the video.
before
and all
swimming
that
pools.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, as in the fact it's on this album, and even though it's a bonus and whatever,
Yeah.
I feel like the bonus tracks are actually still really, really good tracks.
Yeah, Black Boy Fly is good as well.
I remember at the time it came out, there was actually it split listeners because people didn't want to accept Kendrick as like, oh, he's released like a perfect album. A lot of people were like, I'm not feeling this. I don't like his voice. The Shine was criticizing the beats, and he held strong with that as well.
People hold up to Pimp a Butterfly a lot higher because it has a more commercial appeal than this album does.
Oh, I disagree.
No, but when I say what I'm saying, yeah, it makes sense.
Sean's face.
Songs like All Right, yeah, and King Kunta have popular appeal.
They are very pop, yeah.
Not
and
pop.
I as well.
Not
forget
pop,
I.
but do you know what I mean? As in they have popular appeal. None of this album has popular appeal. This album appeals to the rap fan. Songs like Money Trees are so dense. Songs like Mad City, so dense. Now, where Swimming Pools tries to be a pop song, it's still, the flow is, if you don't listen to rap music, that man's rapping so fast, you won't be able to hear what he's saying.
It's mad.
So
Yeah.
I kind of got lost in my point here, but the reason why I want to keep Illmatic at number 3 and put Good Kid, Mad City at number 2 is the storytelling on Good Kid, Mad City is the best on this list.
I'll agree with it, to be honest now. I'm broken now.
It's the best on
You're
this
broken.
list.
Yeah, I'll accept it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, no, you were right when you said it's a movie. This is one of the few albums I listened to, and every time I listen to it, I'm actually picturing what's going on.
It's a perfect picture, man. It's fantastic, man.
Like the whole way through. There's plenty of songs out there that you get that are vivid and whatnot, but this one is like from
takes you
start
on a
to
proper
finish.
journey, though.
I'm watching a film. Yeah.
I'll
the film,
never forget that start of Shireen, man. And immediately, you've got this image. Immediately, I'll never forget where I was when I listened to it, and I had that picture perfect moment of there right at the end, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna see Shireen," and then right at the end when that skit happens, and you can see it clearly.
Yeah.
It's the way he rhymes it, so you are just seeing this perfect movie image of what is happening. It's just phenomenal.
There's a run in... Oh, sorry, go on, Sean.
No, I was chatting shit. I was when I first heard that and that bass line dropped in, I literally sunk in my seat. I fell off the seat. I was like, oh my goodness, I loved it. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, you sent me a track by track review once. I remember that as well. It was like we were so into that album. But I was gonna say the song run, Good Kid, Mad City, Swimming Pools, Sing About Me, and then Dying Off First. That is just unreal. Like that moment there is for me like the album itself. Like you really get into the world of what he was actually doing, because before he sets up the scene so well. But yeah, love that so much.
And the thing is with a debut album, right? A debut album is always going to hopefully be your most content packed, thought about album. Say you make your first album at 18, yeah? That's 18 years of your life that you're cramming into an hour. Past that, it's the last 2-3 years with the sprinkling of what's happened before. And for what Kendrick has done in this album, I think it's a lot more interesting. It's a lot more kind of the word's not. When I say it's more interesting, yeah, like I said, it's a movie, and like everyone said, it's a movie, but it's just not the same thing as Illmatic. Illmatic is a good album, let's be honest, but it's not this album.
I think that Nas does hold strong with themes of each song. They don't tie in exactly like Good Kid does, and that's why like each song supports itself on Good Kid. Nas's ones are like 10 standalone tracks that really present strong themes written so well, and that's why it does deserve third.
Yeah.
So Good Kid, Mad City is going in at number 2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The last thing though, sorry, the last thing with Kendrick as well is we can't deny that it definitely in mainstream it brought back the album. I think people started caring a lot more about putting together a body of work.
definitely.
I mean, Drake went from having, I mean, say what you want about the debut album, but Take Care was like what 20 tracks, and then he made a very conscious decision to, as he said, chew off the fat with Nothing Was the Same and make a more concise body of work.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of albums that sort of 2013, 2014, you know, that you could tell people were thinking more about.
It's because of Control. He shouted them all out.
I mean, there was Schoolboy Q with Oxymoron, YG with My Crazy Life. Do you know what I mean? That people were thinking about actually putting together a piece, in my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, that Good Kid, Mad City was my number one, unfortunately. So, yeah, I guess my number two is now number one. And who had this as number one?
I wanted to, but then it was Chronic. I was just on one.
This album's phenomenal, and I could have had it, but it wasn't. But I'm not mad at it being number
It's
one.
understandable, right? Like every rapper on this album is top tier.
What I wanted to say though, this is the only album that's got this is the only group album on the list.
Well, I think Chronic is as well, arguably a group album.
But you see what I'm trying to get at? You see what I'm trying to get at? It's the only, a named group. And so is that what's pushed it this high up the list? Or is it really that good?
Yeah. I mean, just to quickly go back to the Chronic, I was going to say, one of the points I was going to make was that it was the introduction of a lot of big names like Snoop, Corrupt and Daz, Warren G, Nate Dogg, Lady of Rage, all these people. And it did launch careers in a sense. But this, you think about the solo careers that have come after this album through this sound.
That is the maddest thing about it when you think of it. The solo careers after this.
10 out of 10 albums non-stop. It was mad.
It's just mad.
We haven't even named it yet. Somebody say the name.
Enter the Woo.
Can we just talk about that run on the album though, where it just blows my mind? I'm telling you, I was listening to it yesterday. Sam was right. I could have dashed my laptop and I was working out and I was going mental. Oh my god!
For me, the whole album is a run though. I'm not gonna lie. The whole album gets me.
Yeah,
it gives me a good headache. Good headache.
The album's phenomenal. It really is.
What specific songs was it though?
It's Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With up until Protect Your Neck, innit?
Yeah,
that's the run.
It's just mad. It's mad.
I'm about to say, I thought you
Flawless.
were going to say till Method Man, but about to say Protect Your Neck.
No, Protect Your Neck.
Dude.
And the skits on this are incredible as well. I listened to this was the last one I listened to in prep for this today. I went back to it.
Yeah.
And I love the skits on this.
So where did this come on your list?
Ever.
Sorry?
Where did this come on your
Where
list?
did this come on mine? It was top 3. Can't find my list.
It was number 2 for me.
It was right up there for me. Right.
It was number 2 for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in terms of sound and production, there was nothing like it before it. Like absolutely nothing like it before it. And this was to me I said that trifecta. This was like the closest rival to Dre, in my opinion, in terms of production quality. I know there was Primo and there was Pete Rock and this and that, but the creativity and the originality, as well as but it's weird because I'm saying quality, but it sounds really raw. Like when you listen to it,
it's one of the worst mixed albums of this whole list.
Nah, but it's meant to feel dirty.
But if it was, if it was mixed well, it wouldn't have the same effects.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't.
It has to feel dirty like this, or else it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah,
this is my main point I wrote on this was it's impossible to repeat this because you can't fake that sound that they done. That was just a messy studio, and also the 9 rappers or how many there are, to get them all at their peak and have them rapping all at the same time like that. Because in later albums, some peaked further, like You God got better, but others got a bit worse and slacking. This is a moment where so many different things came together, even more than other albums, where it's this was the aligning of the stars here.
And it's the influence of it as well. It's it's not even just. I mean, if you look at the solo careers that are launched, you think about Ray and Ghost, especially Only Built for Cuban Links, and then what that did for mafioso rap. And then you think about the impact of, say, a Jizza on the underground, Method Man in the mainstream, and what he went on to do with Redman, ODB, going from that super raw debut to making shit like was it Got Your Money and things like that, and having the mainstream success that he did.
ODB is one of the most unique rappers ever. I don't think you could repeat
The
what
closest
he's
thing
doing
we've had to
either.
ODB is Danny Brown, and I tried to say this to Sean in sixth form.
Completely agree with that.
I was like, I found the new ODB. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, listen to this album, Triple X. And I think Sean came back like a week later and was like, this album is wild. What do you mean this is like ODB? This album is like
I wasn't
crack.
ready at first.
Yeah,
but
he was
no,
like, this is like listening to someone doing crack. I was like, exactly. I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
But when you take in what ODB is like, there one or two people that could be like that. It's, I mean, it's like rock star levels of confidence, because what he's doing, no one else was doing, and people will try copy it, but it never felt genuine. And that's like the whole of Wu-Tang. They're just, let's be honest. If Jay-Z represents New York, I feel like Wu-Tang is what made him able to be able to represent New York. Without Wu-Tang, there's no Jay-Z.
And you have to big up RZA for being able to bring this lot together and put together a body of work like this, because it must be more difficult to make a group album when you've got different egos and whatnot, but to have 9 people minimum,
That's
9
the
people
maddest thing.
and have it work like this.
Yeah, precisely, because you feel the chemistry throughout it.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy of like where some of these like people came from. Like
Yeah.
Ghost and Ray, they were on the opposite side before, and then they were like, and then they're just sounding so so in sync with each other. And little did you know is that before they even talk about it, how they used to be on like opposite sides of like sort of gang wars, and it's just mad. Like I saw an interview of both of them saying it. They couldn't stand each other, and they knew they were on opposite side of gang wars. Yet Riz is able to bring them together, and you see and you know how in sync Ghost and Ray are together. So it's mad, and they're like, well, I know they're bros now, but it's crazy to think where they started from. If you think of where they started from, to where they are now, it's mad.
I think it's the greatest group album, personally. I think it's the greatest group album.
It's the greatest debut album of all time, according to the Grey Area.
Jeez.
Just like the other 2 albums on the top 3, I think this album has themes in every track as well, which isn't a common thing for Wu-Tang albums at all. Like every song, you know what they're talking about, and everyone stays on topic too.
Yeah,
That's really rare.
that is
It's
true.
also like, it's not easy on first listen because of the slang and because of some of it is just...
The album's aggressive.
You know,
Let's put it that way. That album,
it's aggressive.
If there's ever been a hostile album, it's this. This album is very hostile.
But
This
it
is
sounds
why-
so cool, right? With the martial arts, you're kind of like, I want to feel like this because
Exactly,
I'm
that's-
fighting some
yeah.
demon or something.
What were you saying,
Yeah,
Sean?
yeah.
What were you
This
saying?
is what,
This album's not
No,
easy
I
to
was-
listen to.
No, I say on like because I was saying on first listen or so, it's not easy to understand. I mean, like what they're saying, what the themes are because of the slang, because of the delivery on some of them, because of the rawness. You kind of get caught up in the vibe, and even to this day, so like I don't fully understand like an Only Built for Cuban Links. I don't fully get what Raekwon's talking about because it's so coded. Like I don't even know if it's intentionally coded. It's just they had their own lingo, but it sounds so good. This is so good.
I think with Wu-Tang as well, it's easy to gravitate towards it once you hear it once or twice. But once you listen to it once or twice, you're like, damn, this is mad. This is amazing.
Yeah, and their fan base goes beyond hip hop, way beyond. hip-hop.
Oh, way behind.
I think
They
they
got a
were the
cult
first
following.
artists that got like a white audience, basically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, like a super cult following, I feel like as well. Yeah. Because in fact, going back to Straight Outta Compton, I think that they released some statistics of the demographic of people that bought that around the time, and it was like over 60-70% were white in suburban areas.
Mad.
But that's what has to happen if you want to blow through into the next realm of making money. Like, because let's be honest, in the Western countries, white people are the majority, so they have to buy into it, or else you're never going to blow up.
Yeah.
Let's be critical here. Obviously, for any of these albums to have even been as highly rated as they had to be, you know, the audience had to vary outside of the originators of that type of music. And it's like Sean said, the audience progressed into white people being, you know, the main supporters of Wu-Tang. And one thing I want to say is I feel like nowadays when that happens, it feels like weird and like less authentic. But I guess back then it was like, it was just the best thing out, surely. You know what I mean? Like, as in people that liked hip hop or wanted to listen to hip hop, they were like, damn, this is the best thing out. Even though realistically, it kind of appealed to outsider culture because not everybody's into those old style, you know, martial arts films. like I personally, I love martial arts films, but I hate the old style ones where they're doing the lip syncing thing.
Yeah, well, it goes to the kind of like the whole comic book theme with what Ghost did with Iron Man as well. It's comic books now. It's the biggest thing in the world. You see, go to like I don't know, like a what do you call it, a theme park or something, and every other kid has got a Marvel backpack or something like that. But back then, superheroes were not the thing. So again, it's like it appealed, like you say, to that sort of outcast, outsider culture. And it was, I don't know, someone leap on. I don't know.
I feel like that's why it's such a good album, because it's so different from what would have come out at that time. Now, bearing in mind, we've spoken about Illmatic a fair amount because of where it ends up getting placed, or where I wanted to place it. Illmatic doesn't take any risks. It just does what it does very well. But the top two take risks and they pay off.
But like when you say when it's touching on outside, like with all obviously, like we're talking about martial arts and stuff. This is why I say Wu-Tang and Tekken, it just works. But anyone playing like Street Fighter and all that stuff, that wasn't really. I wouldn't say that's popular. That was like a niche, so it tapped into that outsider market and it fit in perfectly. So like they listen to Wu-Tang, they're like, what is this? And it just broadens out and broadens out. The amount of like sort of rock fans that I had and that were loving Wu-Tang is just unbelievable, because I don't know, they just find a way to be able to tap into it. And like you're right, Sam, it did take risks and the risk paid off. But it's just brilliant, and it's just so different to anything else that was out there at that time.
Do you know what else though? Sorry, you go ahead, Kieran.
Like the thing about hip hop and the posse cuts, they'd had a few before this time in like this hip hop history, but they just took that vibe of, okay, let's just do a posse cut for every single track. And in music in general, that had never been done before. I can't think of any album where like multiple vocalists were laying vocals for a track.
Good point.
And I think like that's why. Can you imagine at that time when nobody had heard posse cuts outside of hip hop, and then like you hear this album's come out with like 9 vocalists on each track or whatever? Protect Your Necks on the radio. There's just so many people rapping, and it just sounds that crazy. You surely want to listen to the whole thing, because that is unheard of. It's not like a solo. It's not. That's the thing, is that it's not a solo album like one offering.
That's a very good point. The other thing as well is like even if people wanted to take the piss out of the martial arts stuff and that, try saying it to them, because they would fuck you up. That was the vibe you got from the music. It's like, I can't really say, even if I'm not feeling this, I can't say anything to this lot, because ODB's going to come around and beat the fuck out of me. Do you know what I mean?
I think one thing about
would like munch you up, man. I'm not going to lie. The way he was on this track, he was flipping in a bit like Mike Tyson. He start biting the shit out of you, man. Real talks.
Poking your eyes out.
I somehow managed to have a deeper listening of this album today. It's mad because they speak so much slang, but I started working out what they talk about. So like often they relate in things to like their Tao. Have you ever heard of Wu-Tang's Tao? It's like their religion kind of thing, where it's kind of like beating the demons inside of you and becoming a better person from that. And sometimes like when they're talking so aggressively and like talking about killing and stuff like that, they're actually talking about killing their inner demons and stuff. It's sick.
Yeah, I don't think Wu-Tang is actually as aggressive as people think it is. I actually think it's more all of them exploring themselves and dealing with their own, like you said, their own inner demons. Like Shame on a Nigga, yeah. That song's actually quite deep. It's not them like that calling out somebody. It's more so them like reflecting on life. It sounds weird to say, but if you look at the lyrics because obviously when I was trying to prepare for this, I was like reading the lyrics while listening to it. I was like, damn, they're actually talking about like their own. Do you know what I mean? Like their own situations of like, why would you go around shooting people? Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm so against that whole idea of like messing up my own culture.
This is mad. I'm reading it now. It's looking deep.
Sam, it's funny you mentioned that song though, because when Meth comes in on that was one of the, I'm saying one of, maybe the only time where I've been listening to a record and it feels like the producer and the rapper are like clashing in a sense. He even says it in the bars, isn't it? Yo RZA, hit me with a major, all that. It felt like they were having some sort of sword fight. And he was like attacking the beat back. I remember the first time I ever like deeped that, my mind was just off on one. Crazy.
This album's also got Cream as well, one of the most accessible hip hop songs ever.
Yeah.
That Juicy and Nothing Was a G Thing. They're the top three.
There are certain songs that I feel everybody in hip hop has listened to and does love, and Cream is one of those.
And it's a saying, it's a phrase that's been used so many times.
It's such a convenient thing that they came up with. Exactly. That the first person to see that must have been like, "Ooh," you understand?
Yeah.
Like, casuals, everything around me.
Cream.
Get the data.
Yeah, jeez,
bro.
That's one of those moments I wish I was in the studio for that.
There's so many moments I wish I was in the studio for, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder, how do you come up with this? Obviously, I don't know if you've been around people creating music and stuff. Sometimes you do get excited and you hear stuff, you go, "Oh my god, this is a moment." But some of these moments that have touched millions and millions of people, you think, what was going on in that studio that day?
Yeah,
definitely.
I think that a lot with certain guitar riffs. I'm just like, it's so simple, but fucking hell, it's so catchy.
Well, Maria, or whatever it's called by Carlos Santana. Man was in the do. I would have smashed his guitar for him. I said, "You don't need to play that no more. You've won. What are you doing?" But all right, let's recap the top 10, and I guess everybody say something about how they feel about the top 10. So number 10 is A Ruler by MIA. Number 9, Straight Out of Compton by NWA. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill by Lauryn Hill is at number 8. The Chronic by Dr. Dre and Friends is at number 7. The College Dropout by Kanye to the West is at number 6. Ready to Die by Notorious B.I.G. / Biggie Smalls is at number 5. Reasonable Doubt by That Nigga Jigga / Jay-Z is at number 4. Illmatic by Nazia, or Nas as these lot like to call him, is at number 3. Good Kid, Mad City is at number 2. That's by Kendrick Lamar. And Enter the Wu-Tang bracket 36 Chambers close bracket by Wu-Tang Clan is at number 1. Theo, how do you feel about this list, man?
No. To be honest with you, I thought we've rounded that off quite well. Actually, I can tell Kieran's slightly mad about the Chronic, but
I'm not at all. Actually,
that's
I think I was just gassed this morning.
Yeah. No, but to be honest with you, I think we've rounded it off quite well. I mean, I know it might not meet everyone's list that they made beforehand, but to be honest with you, I'm not mad at it at all. I think we've rounded it off quite well, and I'm not mad at that top 5 and the bottom 5 at all. I actually like the list, so that's how I feel about it.
Any special seasonings for the listeners, Theo?
Any special season? Let me think. Add a little bit of Perry salt to that. I think add a little bit of Perry salt. Make it really nice. Get that little spice, man. You can't.
What are you talking about?
I mean, what are you talking about, man? You have to add a little salt and pepper, man. So you need to add some little Perry salt. Add that heat, and that's what this list is looking like, man. Little bit of Perry salt. Yam that ting. There we go. It's done.
Everyone, that's Theo's seasoning advice. You got to season up the list. I don't even know what it means, but it just works. I like it. Go on, Kieran. Tell us what you think about the list.
I'm not even hating too much. It's interesting looking at it. I'm seeing this disagreements thing just now. Me and Sam disagreed quite a lot, to be honest, but I feel fine now because after talking through it, you can see like how other people see it, and the average between 4 people, it just seems to make sense. Also, I feel like they're all close to 10 out of 10 albums anyway, so they're basically interchangeable.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing on here is below a 9, 100%.
Definitely.
100%. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm with the other two, minus the seasoning. I think
you don't think this list is seasoned enough?
You need to put some peri salt into your life, man.
Fuck's sake. I started him off again.
Peri salt, man. Everyone,
where did you put
everyone add salt and pepper to their seasoning, man.
This is what I was trying to get to. I was trying to get to this question of where did people place things that didn't, because everybody had something that didn't end up where they wanted it to end up. And
mine was just Chronic, but I was just kidding.
You know what, Kieran? I mean, after No. After talking it through, and you said something about things being more like sort of capturing the essence of rap and hip hop. I completely feel you now. But prior to this, I had Lauryn Hill at the top.
Mad.
I just
What,
think
number
it's
one?
Wild.
I just think it's near flawless.
So
Number
wild.
one.
Like,
Damn.
yeah, honestly, I did. And I think
so
some people
wild.
say, "Oh, it's not really a rap album. It's not really like this and that." But she's rapping on a lot of that. A lot
I
of
know
that.
she's
And I
rapping
thought-
on a lot of that, but
And I thought about how much
Like
melody
one
comes
verse
into
on
play.
each song.
But
Sorry.
it's incredible. It's incredible.
it
It's
is.
like top tier stuff. And I was trying to deal with it more like just as a debut album. And I got to a point where I just thought, this is, like I say, this is near flawless. And maybe a bit of recency bias came in. Maybe I just was in a moment at that time when I was re-listening to it. But after what we discussed about, like you say, about the sort of capturing the essence of rap and hip hop, no, it's probably not. Probably
Your
not
points
anywhere near
about the melody were very, very fair, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agreed
big
with
time.
everything you're
that.
saying.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I just think, if you look at, again, like I said, if you look at Ye, if you look at what Andre 3000 did with The Love Below and things like that, she really opened the door and set a standard. And to see how common and popular melody is now.
Yeah.
adding
just
some
thought she
Chipotle
deserved it.
flakes to your meal just to season that off.
For fuck's sake.
Nah, Theo's got to do his seasons all the time now. That's his new thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at this list, but certain parts of this list just don't make much sense.
Is
to
it
me.
just Illmatic for you? Be
It's
honest.
just Illmatic. Illmatic doesn't belong in the top 5, man.
That was always going to upset
I wanted
you.
to see the Chronic in there, maybe the College Dropout, but I just knew Illmatic was going to be pushed to a what I see an unreasonable place in this list. Like, I don't know. It's
To be honest, I don't see how College Dropout's still above Chronic, but that's you guys.
I mean, that's not to say anything about Dr. Dre, because if this was to rank everyone's careers, then this list would be turned upside down pretty much. Do you understand? It's one of those things where Dr. Dre did great stuff on his debut, but he did better stuff on albums after this.
You reminded me, I had an interesting point I realized when we saw what the 10 are. 3 of these albums, Dr. Dre had his hand in.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I was thinking that actually before,
It's
yeah.
mad, isn't it?
Dre's
In
the
different
GOAT.
eras.
Yes.
In different eras, yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows you Jay-Z. Wow, sorry. shows you Drake has Drake.
Drake,
I typed in
Cut this out, man.
DR. I typed in DR and I was about to go to Dr. Dre. It shows you that Dr. Dre has longevity. Like, out of all the people,
big time.
he's been present throughout all these 3 eras. With the other rappers on this list, obviously some have died, some have fallen off, others have lost their mind, but Dr. Dre is still
Jesus.
Dr. Dre is still
Jesus.
relevant. And obviously when what's that album he's meant to release soon? What's that song called?
Donda.
No,
Detox.
the other one, the Detox. When the Detox comes out, whew,
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ye, not Drake.
Jay's.
I personally feel like Dre's gonna drop another album or like a collab
I think he
album.
might do.
Do you think
Well,
the
have you
Detox
heard
even
about that
exists?
collab with him and I don't know, man. I think he's given up with that.
Do you think it
What's
existed?
that?
Do you think?
I think he's given up with Detox.
I
now.
thought Detox became the Chronic
Compton.
Compton.
Yeah.
Nah, no way. No way.
It's like some of the songs were definitely taken from that unreleased Detox and put on Compton.
We've heard Yandy though. Yandy existed.
Yandy's a mad album.
That song
That's one of my favorite Kanye.
that album
albums.
should have come out. There's one song on there called New Body, which I wish had come out.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, sorry. But you were saying about Dr. Dre.
No,
Yeah.
I just he's amazing. What
Theo
was
was
Theo
saying about
saying?
Dr. Dre.
Oh, what was it? What was I saying about Dr. Dre? I can't even remember now.
Probably some more seasonings.
Oh, he had an album coming up. You were saying.
Oh, I got you. No, because he's
collab
got.
with-
It's just that collab with Eminem and Kendrick. That's all I was going to touch on. That he's got. coming.
All I know is that Dre remixed "Jesus Is King," but it's not released yet.
I don't know.
And
Is that the Jesus is
Eminem-
Born?
No, it's got Eminem
okay, yeah.
feature on it. It's got
Oh,
like
okay, fair enough.
Kendrick, I think.
Does anyone want to hear that though? Because this was the final
I'm-
question
I
I wanted
might.
to ask. If anyone on this list dropped an album today, would it be good? I think about 3 of them. Yeah.
Kendrick?
Wait, I'm gonna go to the list. Yeah,
Kendrick
Kendrick is the
would be
one
good.
out of all
Yeah,
of them.
Jay Z would
Jay-Z,
be good
100%.
still.
Yeah.
If Biggie was alive, I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest,
yeah,
MIA's album would still be good if she dropped one.
I'm thinking what you said. Kendrick, Jay-Z, and maybe Dr. Dre.
Dre's is a questionable one.
He hasn't really lost anything. He hasn't damaged his career in a sense.
But
He's just,
Compton wasn't like 2001 or
Compton didn't live on. Yeah,
it was too
didn't
long.
live on.
It felt
I remember
too
when
long.
it came out, the hype was mad. I remember
It was a bit unrefined, I thought.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
felt like
well,
there's
it was
too much
kind of-
music on there.
It was a sound. It was kind of a soundtrack, but it wasn't
Yeah,
a
true,
soundtrack
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. I
Well,
don't get.
that's
I
the
don't really
sort of
get what
vibe
it
that I
was.
got from Compton.
It's not
I got a
clear.
soundtrack vibe from it. It wasn't like the other two.
What was it like? Was it just like he was in the, involved in the process of making the film and was just like, fuck it, I need to put some music out. But I'm just in the vibe. I just want to put some more music. I don't know.
It's a
I don't
confusing project.
It's
I don't know.
confusing.
It
But at the
felt
time,
momentous.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt
It was a
momentous.
big deal at the time.
But it's not carried anywhere. It didn't go
It
anywhere.
didn't live. No, it didn't live on.
Sam, you don't think MIA would release a good album? If she
I liked
dropped
her
one?
most recent album. You guys don't. I
Yeah.
liked.
No,
Em.
I love it. I love it.
I like MIA because she is another person when we're talking about people taking risks and then paying off. Paper Planes
Yeah.
is the most risky
Wild.
song you could ever. It's literally talking about just straight violence and robbery, but in a fun way that you can party to. It's perfect.
She's the biggest risk taker out of everyone
Yeah,
on our
yeah.
list.
Oh,
really,
100%.
truthfully. She's sort of stuck by her guns and made decisions that have definitely affected her popularity, her
Bearing in mind
financial
what
gain.
I said about like
her
British
safety.
Asian, yeah, no, defo. British Asian musicians do not make music like that as well. Like you can imagine the people she was hanging out with, the kind of music they were making, and then she comes out with this. Hey, this is Kieran, and thanks for listening. Shout out to my Indian people, I see you. Don't leave without hitting the link in the podcast notes to join our Discord server, where the discourse of our episodes continues. We've got curated playlists and more for you to check out there. Namaskar.